Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on October 25th, 2023. If we could stand for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, will you please read the notice?
Adequate public notice has been given pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice have been posted at the board's office and website and emailed to the Department of State and to newspapers of board circulation within the state.
And can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Holden.
Here.
Commissioner Crystal Deleu.
Here.
Commissioner Abdul.
Here.
President Gosadovi.
Here. And our next meeting is?
The next regular board meeting will be held on Friday, November 17, 2023. It'll be a hybrid meeting in person at the board hearing room at 44 South Clinton Avenue in Trenton and live streamed via YouTube.
Thank you. And I know that's an unusual day of the week, so just mark that on your calendars that it is a Friday and not a Wednesday. We will be going into executive session, but I am going to quickly go off script, Joe Fiordaliso style, and welcome our new employees so that they don't have to sit here and wait through the time that we're in executive session. So if I can ask you to stand when I call your name, you don't have to say anything, but we do want to acknowledge you. So Kit Burnett in counsel's office. Thanks. Alexander Carey, also in counsel's office. Laura Castro in reliability and security. Oh, Laura missed the memo. That's okay. Nicholas Gorglione in customer assistance. Kevin Montederimos in the Division of Clean Energy. Hi, Kevin. Alicia, I'm going to butcher your last name, Alicia Coaco. Is that it?
That's right.
Oh, look at that. In State Energy Services, Alicia. Francis Smallwood from Broadband.
Good morning.
Hello. Brandy Sullivan, also in Clean Energy. And Makai Townsend from Government Affairs. Makai's also from Trenton, where I'm from, so just want to make that known. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Welcome. We're so excited to have new staff, always, but that's such a large group, and I think they're going to be really wonderful for the board, so we're really happy to meet you and see you. And now you don't have to sit here during the time we're in executive session. So we'll be discussing 2A, 7A, 8A, 8B, and 8H. 8H will only be discussed in executive session as a litigation update related to a pending matter. And we expect it to take about 20 to 25 minutes. Will the Attorney General's office please explain the justification?
Good morning, Madam President, Commissioners. For the record, DAG Brandon Simmons on behalf of the Attorney General's Office, Division of Law. Items 2A and 8H fall into the pending or anticipated litigation exception of the Open Public Meetings Act, which can be found at New Jersey Statutes 10:4-12B7. Items 7A, 8A, and 8B fall into the contract negotiation exception to the Open Public Meetings Act and can be found at New Jersey Statutes 10:4-12B7.
Thank you so much. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks. We'll be back 20 to 25 minutes. everyone. Sorry we were a bit longer than I anticipated, or than I told all of you. But we are back in the regular session. Just a couple of things from me before we get into the consent agenda. Again, very excited to be bringing on all of these new staff members to the BPU. We are continuing to bring on new staff members, and to that end, we are hosting a virtual job fair and panel on Tuesday, October 31st. No one will be in costume, or at least I won't be in costume. I can't speak for other people. It is at 10:30. It is via Zoom, and there will be some, including myself, there will be some BPU staff members to talk about the job openings that we have, and talk about their experience working for the board, which is, I'm sure, going to be riveting and wonderful. So I encourage all of you to share the link to the job fair, and we'll be sharing more information over the next couple of days. Just one other thing for me, and that is about the winter termination program. So the winter termination program, it runs from November 15th to March 15th. And it is a program that is available to eligible people who may have some challenges paying their electric water bill. And so we want to make sure that no one is without heat. That's obviously very important in the winter months. And so please, if you need assistance, there are a lot of assistance programs out there, including the winter termination program. It's for anyone who's in need and already receiving assistance or has an economic hardship. So please go to our website and seek out the help that you need, or give a call to the helpline. And that program is available to people who need that support. That is all I have. Anything opening from my colleagues? All right. The consent agenda, please.
On consent agenda items 1A, 3A, and 6A.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor? Okay.
Aye.
On consent agenda items 9A.
We know roll call for the first part.
Yes.
Yes.
Roll call.
Yeah. Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Christo DeLu,
Yes?
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
President Gul-Sadovi.
Yes.
Now we're back to 9A.
9A.
Commissioner Holden,
Oh, I had to move it.
So move it. And I'll second.
Thank you.
Commissioner Christo DeLu,
Yes?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Abstain.
President Gul-Sadovi.
Also abstain. Thank you. Now on to the regular agenda. All right, we are starting with 2A.
Give this to the.
Thank you, Ian.
Good morning, Madam President, Commissioners. On June 28, 2022, Atlantic City Electric Company, or ACE, filed proposed changes to its stated transmission depreciation rates that would increase annual depreciation accrual by $19.1 million with the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or FERC. The New Jersey Board of Public Utilities and the New Jersey Division of Rate Counsel intervened in the resulting docket. Rate Counsel then filed a protest to ACE's filing on July 18, 2022, arguing that several flaws in ACE's methodology caused it to overstate the rate increase it needed, and requesting that FERC initiate settlement procedures. ACE then filed an answer on August 2, 2022, contesting Rate Counsel's claims. In response, FERC set the matter for settlement proceedings on August 31, 2022. The ensuing settlement negotiations resulted in an agreement in principle earlier this year. Following the agreement in principle, the parties developed revised depreciation rates and drafted a settlement agreement. Board staff has reviewed these revised rates as well as the settlement and confirmed that they are consistent with the agreement in principle. Staff believes that the settlement will benefit ratepayers by guaranteeing a substantial reduction in the magnitude of the rate increase that ACE originally sought. Staff recommends that the board agree to the terms of the settlement as discussed in executive session and authorize a Deputy Attorney General from the Division of Law to sign the settlement on the board's behalf.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
On a motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Christo DeLu?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
President Gulcedovi?
Yes. Thank you. Thanks, Ian. Okay, next up, 2B, Mike, good
Yes.
morning.
Good morning, Madam President and Commissioners. 2B is College of New Jersey has a petition requesting relief from a penalty assessed by Public Service Electric and Gas Company regarding the consumption of natural gas during a period of interruption in January 2018. On February 17th, 2023, the board, among other things, retained jurisdiction and designated former President Joseph Figliolisò as the presiding commissioner authorized to establish and modify schedules and decide all motions during the pendency of these proceedings, subject to the ratification by the board. On June 17th, 2023, former presiding commissioner Figliolisò issued a pre-hearing order adopting a procedural schedule. On August 31st, 2023, Counsel for College of New Jersey submitted a request supported by the parties for a one-week extension of several dates in the procedural schedule. Staff recommends that the board designate a new presiding commissioner and grant the requested changes to the procedural schedule.
Thank you. But that commissioner is me,
Yes.
just to be clear. Okay, can I get a motion?
I will move it.
Thank you.
And second.
Thanks, roll call.
On a motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Christo DeLu?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
President Gulcedovi?
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Mike.
To
Go
see.
ahead, 2C.
On May 1st, 2023, Public Service Electric and Gas Company filed a petition seeking cost recovery of electric infrastructure investments placed in service within its Energy Strong 2 program from February 1st, 2023 through July 31st, 2023, which was subsequently updated. Based upon the updated filing, the company requested a revenue requirement of approximately $9 million associated with electric infrastructure investments. The parties executed a stipulation of settlement that resolved all of the issues related to this matter. As a result of the stipulation, a typical residential electric customer will see an increase in their average monthly bill of 32 cents. Staff recommends that the board issue an order approving the stipulation and directing PSE&G to file revised tariffs prior to November 1st, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Yeah. Roll call, please.
On a motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Christo DeLu?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
President Gulcedovi?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Moving on, to water, Malky. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam President and Commissioners. On May 15, 2023, Middlesex Water Company filed a petition with the board seeking approval to establish a distribution system improvement charge. The petition included an engineering evaluation report identifying the district-eligible work to be performed and explained that the company has continually undertaken planning to address short and long-term system needs throughout years of nominal operation, including the annual development of a 5-year capital program. After careful review, the parties executed a stipulation of settlement that supported the district foundational filing based on the district eligible work to be performed. The parties agreed that the company demonstrated that the proposed plan is cost-effective, identified elements of the distribution system that required investment, including assets which are vulnerable, and identified efforts to extend the life of the distribution system assets. The stipulated base spending is $6,160,561, and the maximum amount of annual district revenues that may be collected is $5,505,522. The company shall implement the district surcharge if and when it achieves its specified levels of infrastructure investment and completes and places the facilities into service. As a result, an average residential customer with a 5/8-inch meter may see a maximum monthly district surcharge of $3.23. Staff recommends that the board issue an order approving the stipulation authorizing the company to implement a distribution system improvement charge to become effective November 1, 2023.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Crystal Delou,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
President Gulsadovich.
Yes, thank you. Moving on, reliability and security.
Hello.
Good morning, John.
All right, Madam President, Commissioners, good morning. Oh, I always forget to turn it on. Item 6A is a staff recommendation for the issuance of a final order of penalty assessment for an alleged violation of the Underground Facility Protection Act by RVC Construction, an excavator as defined by the Act. On April 21st, 2022, RVC Construction damaged a natural gas facility in River Edge, New Jersey. After investigating the damage, staff issued a notice of probable violation and offer of settlement to RVC Construction. RVC responded to notice of probable violation contesting the alleged violation and requesting a meeting with staff to present mitigating evidence. On June 28th, 2023, staff held a settlement conference with RVC to discuss the probable violation and mitigating evidence. RVC was represented by an attorney, but presented no new evidence concerning the alleged violation. Because no new evidence was presented during the settlement conference, RVC agreed to pay the original offer of settlement by no later than July 14th, 2023. To date, staff has no record of payment from RVC Construction. RVC is therefore in default pursuant to NJAC 14:2-6.6A on the board, and the board is not bound by the offer of settlement. In determining the appropriate penalty amount to be assessed for the alleged violation, the board is required to consider the penalty assessment factors listed in NJAC 14:2-6.2C, including but not limited to the nature, circumstances, and gravity of the violation. In this matter, RVC damaged a high-consequence natural gas facility and created an unnecessary risk by not having a valid markout at the time of excavation. Staff is therefore recommending that the board approve a final penalty assessment of $6,000 through the issuance of a final order of penalty assessment.
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Thanks, John. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Crystal Delou,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
President Gulsadovich.
Yes, thank you. Moving right along, customer assistance.
Good morning, Madam President and Commissioners. This matter pertains to the administration of the board's payment assistance for gas and electric program known as PAGE.
Tony,
page-
could you talk a little louder or bring the mic a little bit closer?
Sorry, I apologize.
No, you're fine.
So the PAGE program provides financial assistance to low to moderate income residential customers with their electric and gas bills. The board is required by legislation to designate a nonprofit organization to receive this funding to administer the PAGE program on its behalf. As the board's current PAGE contract expires in December 2023, in June, the board initiated a competitive bidding process by authorizing the issuance of a notice of grant availability to solicit bids from nonprofits seeking to administer PAGE for the next contract period. The notice was published in the New Jersey Register on July 17, 2023, as well on the board's website, and was emailed out to numerous potentially interested parties. Additionally, a question and answer period was provided to all potentially interested bidders. These questions and answers were posted to the board's website and were emailed to all potentially interested parties. 3 bids were received by the due date of September 15th. An evaluation committee comprised of board staff independently reviewed and scored each proposal according to the criteria listed in the notice. Following a review and discussion, the committee recommends New Jersey Shares to serve as the Page Program Administrator for the next contract period. If approved, this contract would take effect in January of 2024 for a 3-year period through December 31st of 2026. Staff further recommends the board authorize the president to sign the contract on its behalf.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Just a quick comment from me, just underscoring that there are several programs available to residents, including this PAGE program, to help with energy assistance. So we want to make sure that everybody has the support that they need, if they need it, to pay their bills. So just a reminder that it's, not just the winter termination program. We have the PAGE program. We have USF and LIHEAP. There are a lot of resources available for residents, and so please reach out if you need assistance. That's what government is here to help support people. Thanks, Tony. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Crystal Delou?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
President Goes to Dove?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're rolling today, folks. Clean energy.
Good morning.
Morning.
This item pertains to a memorandum of understanding between the board and the New Jersey Economic Development Authority to continue funding programs in education, research, innovation, and workforce training related to the development of offshore wind in New Jersey as a precursor to the establishment of the Wind Institute. The board has approved MOUs for funding EDA offshore wind programs in fiscal years 2021, 2022, and 2023. If the MOU in front of you today is approved, it would enable an additional $10 million in funding to continue development and execution of offshore wind workforce and education programs and develop initiatives that spearhead research and innovation that unlock market potential and/or specifically address challenges facing New Jersey's offshore wind industry for these programs in fiscal year 2024. The MOU before you today will provide the EDA with an additional $10 million to continue to expand these programs. Board staff recommends that the board approve the fiscal year 2024 MOU with EDA for $10 million in funding for offshore wind-related programs as discussed in executive session, and authorize the president to execute it.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Crystal Delou?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
President Goes to Dove?
Yes. Still with us, right?
Still here.
Thanks, Bailey.
Item 8B pertains to a memorandum of understanding between the board and the New Jersey Economic Development Authority to continue funding to support early-stage New Jersey-based clean tech companies. The board has approved MOUs for funding clean tech programs in fiscal years 2021, 2022, and 2023. If the MOU in front of you today is approved, it would enable an additional $6 million in funding for fiscal year 2024 to continue and expand previous year's programs. Board staff recommends that the board approve the fiscal year 2024 MOU with EDA for $6 million in funding for clean tech programs as discussed in executive session, and authorize the president to execute it.
So moved.
Second.
No questions? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Crystal Delou?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
President Goes to Dove?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bailey. 8C.
Good morning, Madam President and Commissioners.
Good morning.
This item relates to a subsection T application from CEP Renewables to have its Parker Road Solar Farm LLC project certified as being located on a properly closed sanitary landfill pursuant to subsection T of the Solar Act of 2012. The applicant's proposed 21.3 megawatt project is to be located on 39.44 acres at the Comeville South Municipal Sanitary Landfill site in Washington and Chester Townships in Morris County, New Jersey. Staff reviewed the application and supplied a copy to the NJDEP for their review. Staff received an advisory memo on the application where DEP determined that the Parker Road Solar Farm LLC project is located on property defined as a properly closed sanitary landfill consistent with the Solar Act. DEP also provided specific conditions and requirements for permits and approvals from DEP that the proposed project must satisfy. Based upon the review of the application and the advisory memorandum provided by NJDEP, staff recommends the following 3 items. That the board grant conditional certification of the Parker Road Solar Farm project as proposed for the Comeville South Municipal Sanitary Landfill site as a properly closed sanitary landfill consistent with the Solar Act of 2012. They find the conditions for certification provided by NJDEP be fully documented as satisfied by the applicant prior to the staff's issuance of full certification, and direct the applicant to file its TREC registration within 14 days of the date of this order.
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Cristo DeLu?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
President goes to Dovey.
Yes. Thank you. Diane's still with us, right?
I am.
Okay.
For a second subsection T application. This is from NJR Clean Energy Ventures 3 Corporation to have its Stag's Leap Ranch Development Project certified as being located on a properly closed sanitary landfill pursuant to subsection T of the Solar Act of 2012. The applicant's proposed 12.5 megawatt project is to be located on 54 acres at the Henry Harris Sanitary Landfill site in Harrison Township, Gloucester County, New Jersey. Staff reviewed the application and supplied a copy to NJDEP for their review. Tax records obtained by the Division of Law from Gloucester County show that the part of the property for the proposed project located on portions of Block 57, Lot 9, has been actively devoted to agricultural or horticultural use that is valued, assessed, and taxed pursuant to the Farmland Assessment Act of 1964 within the 10-year period prior to July 24, 2012, and thus that development proposed on Lot 9 is not eligible for solar. Staff received an advisory memo on the application where DEP determined that the Stag's Leap Ranch Development Project proposed for Block 57, Lots 12, 12.01, and 13 is located on property defined as a properly closed sanitary landfill consistent with the Solar Act. DEP also provided specific conditions and requirements for permits and approvals that the project must satisfy. Based upon a review of the application, documents obtained from the Division of Law, and the advisory memorandum provided by DEP, staff recommends the following 4 items. That the board first grant conditional certification of the Stag's Leap Ranch Development Project for only the portion of the property at the Henry Harris landfill site identified by DEP as being located on a properly closed sanitary landfill consistent with the Solar Act of 2012, specifically Block 57, Lots 12, 12.01, and 12.03. Second, to direct the applicant to submit an updated registration package within 30 days of the effective date of this order, including revised site plan maps reflecting array placement within the approved blocks 57, lots 12, 12.01, and 12.03. Third, find the conditions for certification provided by DEP be fully documented as satisfied by the applicant prior to staff's issuance of full certification. And fourth, finally direct the applicant to file its TREC registration within 14 days of the submission of the revised application.
So moved.
Second?
No questions? Thank you. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Cristo DeLu?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
President goes to Dovey.
Yes. Thank you, Diane. Sawyer, looks like you're up next.
Good morning, Madam President and Commissioners. This agenda item concerns 3 petitions from Solar Landscape Development, Trina Solar U.S. Development, and Green Power Developers regarding 5 projects conditionally approved in Program Year 2 of the Community Solar Energy Pilot Program. All 3 petitions concern projects in the territory of Atlantic City Electric Company, ACE. The board established the pilot program on February 19th, 2019, and the program allows utility customers to participate in a solar energy project that may be remotely located from their properties and receive a credit on their utility bills. Community solar therefore enables access to clean energy generation for utility customers unable to place solar generation directly on their own properties, with a carve-out for low to moderate income subscribers. During the second competitive solicitation process, the board selected 105 applications on October 28, 2021. These projects initially had a deadline to become fully operational within 18 months, i.e. May 4th, 2023. On August 17th, 2022, the board issued an order extending the project completion deadlines for the PY2 projects in the pilot program and transition incentive program to November 4th, 2023. Solar Landscape filed a petition for an extension on February 9th, 2023 for its 2 community solar projects on rooftops in Millville. Trina Solar filed a petition on November 28th, 2022 for its 2 community solar projects on a landfill in Pennsville. And Green Power filed a petition on August 14th, 2023 for its community solar project on a landfill in Stafford Township, all for extensions of time in the program. All 3 petitions stated that ACE provided estimated timelines for interconnection upgrades that would be from a low of 20 months to a high of 32 months. The petitioners each separately engaged in discussion of alternative interconnection options, but ACE's construction timelines still extended beyond the deadlines. All 3 petitions requested extensions that would allow the projects to remain in the pilot and TI programs for at least as long as ACE required to interconnect the projects, and all 3 indicated that they would have been able to fully complete project construction by the deadline were it not for the upgrades required for interconnection. Staff notes that community solar provides direct benefits to customers in New Jersey, particularly LMI customers, who must benefit from at least 51% of the project's capacities. Staff also notes that only 3 of 33 approved megawatts of approved community solar pilot projects in ACE territory are expected to come online for the deadline, which may raise equity concerns for potential subscribers as substantially more projects in other parts of the state have been able to become operational. In these specific cases, the extended interconnection timelines in the community solar energy pilot program constitute sufficient grounds for a waiver because they were systemic, unforeseen, and unforeseeable by the petitioners, and wholly outside of their control. Staff recommends the board grant the requests for extensions.
So moved.
And seconded.
No questions or comments? Thank you. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Crystal Delu?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Recused.
President Gul-Sidoti?
Yes. Thank you, Sawyer. Mr. Ferris.
President, Commissioners, good morning.
Good morning.
This matter concerns the pre-build infrastructure, or PBI, proposals received from bidders submitted in accordance with the requirements of the solicitation guidance document for the third offshore wind solicitation. The PBI consists of the duct banks and associated access vaults that would be installed by a single entity in one construction effort for use by 4 qualified offshore wind projects to be awarded by the board to connect their projects to the electric transmission system in New Jersey. The PBI was identified during the solicitation for coordinated transmission projects conducted by PJM Interconnection LLC, or PJM, on behalf of the board using PJM's State Agreement Approach, or SAA, to support New Jersey's then goal of 7,500 megawatts of offshore wind. The PBI would be installed between the shore landing point identified in the SAA project awards, the Seagirt National Guard Training Center, and the awarded point of interconnection, the Larrabee Collector Station. The PBI would minimize environmental and community impacts by resulting in a single shore crossing and a single or limited onshore corridor to the point of interconnection. Board staff was not able to directly solicit proposals for the preferred PBI design at the time of the SAA solicitation, which proposal window opened on November 18th, 2020, and closed on September 17th, 2021. Because the shore landing point and the point of interconnection between which the PBI would be installed were only identified as a result of the SAA proposals received and the subsequent SAA project awards. As a result, staff determined that requests for proposals for the PBI should be included in the third offshore wind solicitation for qualified offshore wind projects. The solicitation guidance document for the third offshore wind solicitation required all bidders to that solicitation to also submit a proposal to construct the PBI. Since the cost for the PBI would be recovered through the Offshore Wind Renewable Energy Certificate, or OREC, funding mechanism, the PBI could only be awarded to a bidder who also received an award as a qualified offshore wind project. On August 4th, 2023, applications were received from 4 offshore wind developers for offshore wind generation projects, and separate applications were received from each of these 4 developers for the PBI. Staff has reviewed the PBI proposals submitted in the third offshore wind solicitation. Staff finds that the proposed cost of the PBI, utilizing the OREC funding mechanism, and subject to the requirement that the PBI could only be awarded to a developer who also receives an award as a qualified offshore wind project, imposes an unreasonable burden on New Jersey's ratepayers. Staff has determined that a separate solicitation for the PBI, open to transmission developers, transmission owners, offshore wind generation developers, and other qualified firms, utilizing the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission approved transmission rates for cost recovery, would increase competition and lead to ratepayer savings. In order to fairly evaluate proposals from all bidders in a separate PBI solicitation, staff recommends that the board reject all of the PBI proposals received in the third offshore wind solicitation. Staff would like to make clear that rejecting the third offshore wind solicitation PBI proposals will not affect the generation project component of the third offshore wind solicitation applications, and staff is continuing to evaluate these project applications. Staff also recommends that the board direct staff to develop a PBI solicitation guidance document and to present that document to the board for approval, along with a recommendation to open a separate PBI solicitation within the next 30 days.
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Can I have
On the motion.
a comment, if possible? Jim, thank you very much. I understand the frustration that this must cause on behalf of some of the developers that solicited in good faith, but we appreciate their partnership and look forward to working with them in the future to provide and promote a better product that will serve them, the projects, and the ratepayers. So, Jim, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you also, Jim. Yes, this clearly shows between this and the MOU, yes, MOU that we did earlier, that we are serious about offshore wind in New Jersey, and we've proven that we're a leader. And I'm very comfortable, I'm even more comfortable, the approach that you're going to take with the pre-build and soliciting people that really have an expertise in this, in transmission building. So thank you for your work, and I know, as Commissioner Christodoulou said, it is frustrating, but we're moving ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Christodoulou,
Yes?
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
President Gulsadovy.
Yes. Thanks, Jim. Stacy?
Morning, President, Commissioners. This matter concerns revisions to the term for the Electric and Gas Public Utilities Energy Efficiency, or EE, filings for the second 3-year cycle of programs, or Triennium 2, implemented pursuant to the New Jersey Clean Energy Act of 2018. On May 24, 2023, the Board directed the utilities to propose EE programs for Triennium 2. on July 26, 2023, the board approved the remaining aspects of the Triennium 2 EE framework necessary for the utilities to submit their proposals. By this order, the board directed that state and utility program administrators use the net savings goals provided in the Cadmus Group's goal-setting study as a starting point when developing proposed annual energy reduction goals. The board also directed staff to 1, evaluate whether energy savings from building energy codes and appliance standards, as well as from other state programs and initiatives, would support increasing the state's relative share of annual net energy reduction goals, and thereby lowering utility annual net energy goals. And 2, determine whether to recommend that the board approve state or utility savings goals at levels different from those in the goal-setting study. The utilities were originally required to submit their Triennium 2 filings on or before October 2nd, 2023. On September 21st, 2023, the New Jersey Utilities Association submitted a request for an extension of the October 2nd filing deadline. On September 23rd, 2023, the board approved the NJUA's request, extending the Triennium 2 filing deadline to December 1st, 2023, and designated presenting commissioners for the anticipated filings. I will present a series of recommendations from staff that pertain to the Triennium 2 and extension of Triennium 1 programs. Following the board's extension of the Triennium 2 filing deadline to December 1st, 2023, staff requests that the board revise the Triennium 2 term to commence on January 1, 2025, and conclude on June 30th, 2027, for a total term of 2.5 years. Extending the start of Triennium 2 by 6 months will enable staff to explore with Rate Council, which would require the utilities' cooperation, board action beyond 180 days, and thereby provide staff with additional and more sufficient time to manage proceedings for the 7 utility filings, including coordination of multiple consultant teams, and to provide parties and stakeholders additional time to review, analyze, and discuss the filings. Regarding Triennium 2 energy reduction targets for state and utility programs, under the guidance of the statewide evaluator of New Jersey's EE programs, consultants to the board have estimated energy savings from the state's recent adoption of more stringent appliance standards and building energy codes, as well as from the Weatherization Assistance Program administered by the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs, that could contribute to additional energy savings achievement through state programs and initiatives. Under this analysis, the additional energy savings could support lowering both state and utility annual net energy goals. Based on analysis by the statewide evaluator and the Cadmus Group of the relative contribution of state and utility programs to meeting the CEA's energy reduction goals in Triennium 2, staff recommend applying 11% of the additional energy savings to lower the state's annual net energy goals, and applying 89% of the additional energy savings to lower the utilities' annual net energy goals. Staff recommends that the utilities propose target values that are aligned with these revised goals in accordance with the shortened Triennium 2 timeframe. Staff recommend that Program Year 4, or PY4, comprise 6 months from January 1, 2025 to June 30th, 2027, and that assessment of the utility's compliance with PY4 targets be based on retail sales during the most recent 36 months prior to PY4. Staff also recommends that the utilities provide 6-month projections for PY4 and submit quarterly reports rather than annual reports following the conclusion of PY4. In order to continue EE programs without interruption, staff recommends that the utilities file to extend their Triennium 1 programs by 6 months to December 31st, 2024, with budgets designed to meet customer demand during this period. Since EE programs have been steadily ramping up during Triennium 1 to meet the CEA's energy reduction goals, staff recommend that each utility's half-year Triennium 1 extension budget should not exceed 50% of the utility's Program Year 3 or PY3 budget. Staff further recommends that the board direct each utility to meet energy savings targets equivalent to 50% of its PY3 energy savings targets during the utility's half-year Triennium 1 extension. Finally, staff recommend that all Triennium 1 rules, provisions, and practices should apply to the entire revised term of Triennium 1, including the half-year extension. As the only 2 exceptions to Triennium 1 rules, staff recommends 1, allowing the utilities to submit Program Year 3 annual progress reports according to the due date applicable to Triennium 2 annual reports, and 2, allowing the utilities to shift program budgets within the same sector or among sectors during the half-year extension according to the parameters applicable to Triennium 2. That concludes staff's recommendations.
So moved.
Second?
I just want to say thank you very much for your time on this and the patience of everyone as we take the additional time necessary to review these things. So really appreciate that. And the patience of all of our stakeholder community as well. Thanks. Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Crystal DeLu?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Recused.
President Gould Sadovy?
Yes. Thank you. I believe this concludes our agenda. Can I please have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And that's it. Thank you.
Gavel.
A gavel with my name.
All right.
It's official.
That's, yeah, it feels official. And I said 11:15 and it's 11:18. So I feel like
I saw that at the track. I'm like,
no price.